Hello everyone and welcome to tonight's live. Sorry what I argue with the lighting here. This is a bad reflection on the TV behind me. There we go, that's better. Still a reflection there though. There we go. So how is everyone? And welcome to Era Military Collectibles on this Friday evening. I was going to say the old channel name there, but I caught myself. How have you all been keeping? I have had a busy week. I have my World War II uniform is in the tailors. I could have tailored it. Excuse me. Gary Hall, how are you? I hope you enjoyed the little video, Gary. Fantastic. Shalom, may your camels give you creamy milk. Ahlan, brother, ahlan. Danny Reeds from Herefordshire Regimental Museum. So, as I said, my battle dress is in the tailors because I could have done it myself, but I just wasn't because I didn't have the time. I did, though, however, stitch the badge on my beret for the Victory Show and the Yorkshire Wartime Experience. So we're one up in that kettle of fish. So how has everyone been anyway? We've had some interesting things happen here in the museum, my little war room. So yes, found some little interesting bits that I thought I had forgotten and lost and stuff. That I thought I'd talk about this evening, if I can remember where I put them. Oh yeah, now I know where I have them. Fantastic, Matt. Well put together. Many thanks again. No problem, Gary. No problem. We will talk again in relation to when you get the new stuff done. We'll go up and we'll do a different one again. Andrew Johnson, hello. How are you? Kenny Rebel, evening. How are you? So, what did I find while I was tidying up my war room? Well, I'll show you one thing first of all that I found that actually it's down here. Where did I put it? Now, I thought I had done a video on these before. I might have done a video, but I don't know if I did an individual video on them. I found my Royal Ulster Constabulary notebook. It's still blank. I think I did videos on these. But yeah, so basically what I found was my Northern Ireland paperwork stuff. This one then is the Ulster Constabulary. It's basically a ticket book. Driver, so you have date, driver, passenger, address, accompanied, yes, no, registration, type of vehicle, purpose of vehicle being used for owner. Yeah, so little paperwork books. Now this is what I found interesting. This is what I found interesting. Road traffic accident report book. Right, so by the looks of this, each accident had its own book because it literally starts of accident, personal injury, division, subdivision, section, location of incident, date, time, and blah blah. So by the look of it, so if first vehicle, second vehicle, third vehicle, by the look of it, it's literally a report. So each individual accident must have had its own accident report book. And then the final one is search record for persons and vehicle. These were a common enough one. You had to fill in purpose of why you stopped somebody, why you searched them, blah, blah, blah. So they were just little interesting items that I came across that I thought I'd talk about them, show them to people. I'm sure Gary has a wide selection of these stuff up in his museum. But yeah, just little shelf fillers. I forgot them when I was going through paperwork. Because what I was going through paperwork for, and that would be in this shelf, was I was trying to put together my little personal camera. Don't go anywhere. Sorry, lads, it wasn't an earthquake. But my little personal effects for the living history Sorry, living history. Well, it is living history. The Yorkshire Wartime Experience and the Victory Show. So I was getting my paybook. Now this is blank. So I'm contemplating whether to fill it in for first SAS, because I do plan on doing Royal Ulster Rifles as well. So I probably will get a second one of these. And the other thing is, now I know Danny and the boys were telling me that Epic shop, I suppose. I don't know what their full time Epic Militaria. I had to buy this second or separate, which is the AB64 Part 2, whereas this is the AB64. I had to buy the Part 2 separate. Now, Epic, what's wrong with this is, look, it doesn't actually fit in the book. Now, I could cut it down, I suppose. But yeah, so the Part 1 doesn't fit in the Part 2 book, or the Part 2 doesn't fit in the Part 1 book. But Epic Militaria are doing the Part 1 and Part 2 come together. And what Part 2 is, it's basically temporary employment, daily pay changes, etc., 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 etc. So that's what that is. So I'm debating on whether to fill this in for first SAS and get a second one out of Epic to do for the Royal Ulster Rifles, which is a possibility. Now, Pete Neal from Living History UK made me this little paybook cover as a present for going over to the festival. So thank you, Peter. And then the other thing that I got that I was putting together is just now they probably wouldn't have carried this, but it's good to have, I suppose, as little pocket fillers, because it's not. I need to worry about weight because I am going to be flying over. It's just a little fake currency from First World War. Now I probably will, while I'm at the Yorkshire Wartime Experience, I do have a little shopping list made out for myself. I need to get Blanco. I need to get obviously if I see any off banner bits, I will be, but it's a World War II show, so I doubt that I will be seeing any off banner bits. But I will be doing a little bit of shopping. I need to get a wallet, personal, a vintage wallet if they have one there. And then I have little coins here at the bottom, actually, courtesy of Stan. I don't know if Stan is going to be in tonight, actually. I think he's on holidays, but yeah, so that's what I was putting together. It was just a little personal pocket stuff of the for Yorkshire, and I need to just remind me I need to put my sewing kit, commonly referred to as a housewife for those unpolitically correct people that are going to give out to me. It is actually what it's called. I need to put that with my kit because that's what I was doing today. Sorry, earthquake again. I need to put that together with my kit because I nearly have it finished. My Denison is there still on the mannequin, and the rest of it is out. As I said, at the tailor's been tailored, and I do have my beret here. I'm not going to show you that because. Would you like me to? Would you like to see a video on the actual kit? Because I'm relying a lot on Danny Herefordshire Regimental Museums. I'm relying a lot on Pete Neal, Steve Davis, Andrew Johnson, Dave. Where is he? Dave is there yet? Those type of guys to give me information because there are pictures. I have been reading books and stuff like that. But the SAS, sorry, times goes decent. The SAS, they're obviously notorious. They do what they want. They do their own thing. So to try and find equipment and kit and actual stuff for them, it's very, very hard. I went looking on YouTube because if you type up on YouTube, banner impression, somebody will show up. Simon Moore has a fantastic one on Soldier in Londonderry. That pops up when the minute you type in op banner soldier. First World War impression, always American stuff pops up, German stuff pops up all over the place. But I could not actually find an SAS trooper from the Second World War. So I don't know if the boys are going to do one in the UK, but I could possibly do one. So I might do a video. I just seen it there. Dave just popped up. Revealing your kit would be useful for you, fresh eyes. It will give you new ideas. So that's what I possibly could do. I might do a video over the weekend of what I have gathered at the minute and throw up on a video and see what happens. This old helmet. Hello, how are you? You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome for popping in. So I don't know if Danny's still there. If Herefordshire Regimental Museums is still there. The other thing I want to ask people is, I am possibly going to bring on guests on the live streams of a Friday night. Won't be all the time, but just the odd time we'll be bringing on guests. Danny from Herefordshire Regimental Museums, I want to bring him on because he is a fantastic chap. He is very, very knowledgeable in relation to medal collecting. He has a big, big medal collection. He has a Jeep, Willys Jeep. He is an Afghan veteran. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that, but he's an Afghan veteran. So we definitely will be bringing on guests on the Friday night live streams. Let's have to figure out how to do it. I know Jack Brown knows how to do it, so I must get in contact with him to figure out how he does it, because I don't have a buzz notion how he does it. I'm not very technical when it comes to certain things. I'm in the Afghan workshop. Oh, so he's working on the Jeep, because we are bringing a Jeep to, if any of you we won't have one in the Victory Show. Sorry, we won't have one at the Yorkshire Wartime Experience, but we will have one at the Victory Show. It's Danny's, and right now it's in pieces all over his floor. So if any of you want to go see it and have a look at it, have a good one. Will he have a tape over his eyes? He won't have tape over his eyes. He's not that side of the Herefordshire funny stuffs. But yeah, he's allowed to talk about what he did, shall we say. 3 at the Victory Show. Oh, we're having 3 Jeeps at the Victory Show. Oh yeah, that's forgot, because we're joining up with some other guys. And then at the Yorkshire Wartime Experience, I will be there with the combined. Hang on a minute, I just check my sticker on the back of my laptop, because I always get it wrong. The Combined Forces Living History Group, which is the other group that I'm affiliated with, which is Andrew's group. We will be there. I have all my flights booked. I have my flights booked for both trips. I just need to get a hotel in Hereford, and I need to get a hotel in Birmingham. So if any of you know of any cheap hotels in Birmingham or Hereford, let me know, guys. We'll be stuffing a beefy boy hangover on Wednesday when you come down. Exactly, we will, because I'll be going down on the. Yeah, I'll be in on the Wednesday. I'll be a day. I'm a day early for both. Because most shows will say we go to either Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But there's always a day set up beforehand, so I have to go over a day early. Me and Denny are driving the Jeep from Hereford. Fingers crossed that he manages to figure out where he puts all the bowls back. We're driving the Jeep from there to the Victory Show, and Lenny is picking me up in in Manchester, on the way to Yorkshire Wartime Experience. So yeah, so I'm delighted. I can't wait. I can't wait to actually get to meet the boys again and have a great time and a laugh and a joke. And yeah, Combined Forces Living History Group is, as I call it, with the Professional Tea Drinkers Club. The kettle's always on at the display. Exactly. So you're more. So that's if you see me at either, or if you see me at anything, don't be afraid to pop in and say hello. Or Dave can vouch for me. Dave seen me at the Living History UK Festival last year, and I don't bite. So if you do see me, you do recognise me, you're more than welcome to come over, have a cup of tea, have a handshake and stuff like that. Andrew and my bodyguards won't attack unless I tell them to. No, I'm only joking. They won't attack. We are nice guys. We're genuine, down to earth guys. We're in for the love of the history and the love of the talking. which is half the fun. So you're more than welcome to come over and say hello to us. Yeah, so David, wars are won by the side with the largest kettle. You see, the thing about it is, now I got this off of Gary Hall when I was above at the north doing the little video for him. If I can get out of the box. See, I could bring all these little bits and bobs, but you're gonna end up running into weight issues and stuff like that. They're the water purification tablets for the bottle, and there's original two. The two originals are in the little bottle. Now they're nice little things to have on display and stuff like that, but the guys over in the UK that I'm going over to meet, they have all this stuff. So they are nice to bring. So this is my issue: is what to bring and what not to bring. Obviously, I'm not going to be carrying a movie prop of the pew pew type, such as something like this. I won't have anything like that. So the boys are giving me them or lending them to me when I go over. I do have one, the 3D printed one that Danny got made for us, in for the victory show. But I don't have anything for the Yorkshire Wartime Experience. So Andy Kite hopefully is giving me stuff to use. So this is my dilemma: is what do I bloody bring and what? Obviously, I'm going to bring my uniform. I'm going to bring my battle dress, boots, my personal, basically my not so large pack that I wish was larger pack. Although I know Andrew has for me in the Yorkshire Wartime Experience. He has a backpack for me that I will be bringing home. Because when we go to the victory show, we're going to be roughing it a bit more than we are in the Yorkshire Wartime Experience. So I need to bring more equipment with me for that one, like blankets and stuff like that. So yeah. Which British World War II beret badge is the hardest to find? Oh God. Probably your chaplains, I would say. Danny might know more than me now because he's volunteers in Herefordshire Regimental Museum. But World War II cap badges, like when you consider a battalion or a regiment. A regiment has multiple battalions, and there's 1,000 guys per battalion. Whereas chaplains, you've one per battalion, one per. You've one per battalion, you've one per regiment. So chaplains corps badges, veterinary corps as well, cavalry, stuff like that. Cavalry would have had a vet attached to them. Their badges are, I presume, are hard to get. The lesser known units, the units that are small or the units that were attached to other groups, they're the ones that are hard to get. I hope that answers your question. Ralph, hello friends. Hello Ralph. Hi Dave, Andrew. Hello Ralph. I've got your toy. Yes, you have. Mr. Smith, hello, welcome to the madness that is Era Military Collectibles. You can now put a face and voice to the name. So when I'm standing outside Manchester Airport with my thumb out, to pick up, I will have a bit of leg on show as well, just in case you drive past me. Yorkshire section of the Recce Corps. Did not know that there was a Yorkshire section of the Recce Corps. Badges now there as well that are extremely collectible and they're getting harder to get. There still are out there, but the price of them is shot up. Is the regiments that were disbanded in 1922, the Irish regiments that were disbanded in 1922. So you have the South Irish Horse, the Leinster Regiment, the Connacht Rangers, the Royal Ulster Fusiliers, the Royal Munster Fusiliers. There was 6 of them. South Irish Horse, Dublin Fusiliers, Connacht Rangers, the Leinster Regiment, Royal Munster Fusiliers. Who was the 6th? There was a 6th one. Might pop into me a minute. Farmers are waging war in the Netherlands against the Prime Minister. on the farm. I heard that he's trying to not ban farming, but he's making it really, really taxable and high for them, which is ridiculous. Recce cap badge in silver with rose attached. Okay, cool. Andrew, taxi. Oh, sorry. Let me put. I'm your Uber driver. Yes, you are. Thank you for picking me up. You're more than welcome. I promise we won't be drinking the Jameson that I will bring over because I will be flying, so I can call into the duty free. The last time actually I brought stuff, I went to the UK. I did have whiskey with me, but I had to post it back because I had 6 bottles. I thought I was driving, didn't pay any attention. But I had 6 bottles. I had one for Pete, I had one for Steve, I had one for ourselves that we could drink. I think, did I have one for Denny? I can't remember. I had a few bottles of whiskey anyway that I was going to give out as presents, but the customs guys wouldn't let me take them. Or if I was going to take them, they were going to pay me. I had to pay the duty on them, so I was like, so I posted them home while I was in port, and yeah, there you go. There are other soft drinks out there, YouTube, so don't get your knickers in it. You know what? No farm, no food. Exactly. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Carry on, but some people these days. Okay, I can't remember. I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Yeah, so you're the South Irish Horse, the Leinster Regiment, the Connacht Rangers, the Munster Fusiliers. I'm going to crowd around the thing. The Dublin Fusiliers. That's 5. I'm almost positive there was a 6th. Wasn't the Royal Irish Fusiliers, because the Royal Irish Fusiliers were still there. The Royal Irish Regiment, the Royal Ulster Rifles then were formed in 1920. Because every province had its own regiment. So you had the Leinster Regiment, Connacht Rangers, the Munster Fusiliers, and then the only other province that didn't have one was the Ulster, so they became the Ulster Fusiliers. Enniskillens, that's it. Oh, hey, the Enniskillens. I knew there was another one. The Enniskillens as well. The Enniskillens was weird because you had the Enniskillen Dragoons, you had the Enniskillen Fusiliers. You had the Enniskillen Dragoon Guards, though, wasn't disbanded until the 80s, I think. And we had the Enniskillen Fusiliers. The Enniskillens, though, weren't the Enniskillens reformed for the Second World War? Because I believe they fought in Italy as the name of the skins. I can't remember. Could have been. I'm not too sure. Google. We'll have a look. Right, here we go. Following the collection of the Irish Free State 1922 regiments and the British Army. See, the Royal Irish Regiment. Oh, so it was the Royal Irish Regiment. So the Royal Irish Regiment, the Connacht Rangers, the Leinster Regiment, the Royal Ulster Fusiliers, the Royal Dublin Fusiliers, and the South Irish Horse. There you go. So they were the regiments that were disbanded. The remaining 4 Irish regiments are the Royal Irish Regiment, the Irish Guards, the North Irish Horse is still floating around. Did not know that. What's the 4th one? Doesn't say the 4th one. It says 4 remaining Irish regiments. Royal Irish Regiment, Irish Guards, North Irish Horse. I don't say what the 4th one is. Oh well. Wish you could have real working weapons for display. Do I wish I could have real working weapons for display? No, I don't actually. Would I like them? Yes. DX and airsofts and stuff are fine for me because I don't have to worry about added security. The Irish laws would be mental. I'd have to have a safe. I'd have to have. I'd have to have a safe. I'd have to have firing pin safes. I'd have to have an ammunition safe. I'd have to have an alarm on the house. I do actually have an alarm on the house, but I'd have to have an alarm on the house, and I'd have to have this, and I'd have to have that, and it's just DX and stuff do me fine. They're fine. They're fine. Wish you. Some of them still are. Some of them still are. I'm not sure what the some of them still are about, Andrew. 4th Regiment of the Queen's Own Hussars, formerly the Royal Irish Hussars. I actually do have a Royal Irish Hussars beret. They have an actually very, very unusual beret. They have a very thick band on their beret. I do actually have one, but it's up there in my beret box. I do actually have a video on it. If you want to go check out the video, Headdresses of the World is the playlist. Go check them out and you will find one. Sarah Kappa still has Harp and Crow. Very nice. Very good. A safe for everything and paperwork to go with it. It's plus more. Wow, yeah. It's not that it's not worth it. I mean, if you're into collecting and stuff like that, but I'm not into. It's just they're fine. What I do, I don't need. Once I have the paperwork this for my stuff that is deactivated, that's fine. My airsoft stuff, it's fine once it fires under 328 feet per second or 1 joule. Then they're okay. Denex is fine. Denex as well do lots of good copies and stuff, so you can get good copies of Denex. Some of our weapons are live, but on a ticket. Oh, very cool. Any chance of an M1A1? That's or an L1A1? The question is mint condition or used in battle. What do you think is more interesting? Either or. This I'm doing research on, and I was hoping he'd be in today, but I think he's on holidays, or I'm not sure he was. This was sent to me by Jim Timber, Jim of the Timbers, and it's a Polish Cold War. I do collect Cold War stuff as well. Jacket, more Army of the Rhine type stuff, and Polish stuff very interests me a lot. But it's a Polish jacket. It's known as leopard. It's got a Polish collector's term. It's known as leopard because if I can pull it here very close to the thing, you'll actually see it. There's like little dots on it. I do actually have a rank slide for it. It's camouflage. But yeah, I'm doing research on it to do a video on it, so there will be a video coming up on it, so I don't want to go into great detail. But this has never been issued. It's still got the paper tag on the sleeve. Let's turn that light over the way, you might be able to see it a bit better. It's still got the tag on the sleeve for where it was in stores. Like this would just be ripped off when it was issued. So yeah, so that is a very, very interesting item. It's probably a very hard item to get in a few years' time, especially an unissued version. So yeah, so new stuff has its talking points. Old stuff, battlefield stuff, battle use stuff has its talking points. I understand why people get it, such as obviously that's my. And I hadn't said it hasn't been battle used, but that's my Vietnam era helmet. Sorry, I'm just going to put this where it should be, which is back here. This is my Vietnam era helmet. It's not battle used, but I don't know if it's been battle used, but it has been used. So yeah, so interesting point. Whereas the likes of my Mark 6 public order helmets, riot helmets, have they been used? I don't know, possibly. I know that helmet has definitely been used because that was mine. That's definitely been overseas. So yeah, so to talk about something whether it was in a battle or not, it's very, very hard. Whereas another thing that I try to stay away from is the relics. You see guys collecting war relics or battlefield relics, or you see a German helmet with a bullet hole straight through the top of it. There's rusted to bits. Unless you were there for that when it was dug up, and you have the providence, you have the pictures of them actually digging it up. You have the paperwork going way, 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 way back to when it was found. An awful lot of that stuff is copied. It's I won't say copied, but it's synthetically made. Guys are burying helmets in their backyard and they're hitting them with picks to put a hole in them. They're shooting them themselves with rounds to put a hole in them. And an awful lot of these guys as well. Some people do it very, very well. I don't like the guys that metal. Not okay. I'm not going to put this wrong. I'm going to try not to put this the wrong way. Guys that metal detect in battlefields, I don't have an issue with it. But guys metal detect in battlefields to sell the stuff, I have an issue with, because what they will do is they will just dig on a signal, whereas rather than proper metal detectors will say is if they find a signal or whatever, it could be a cap badge, right? So I take it it's a cap badge you're after digging up, be it Royal Engineers, Royal Ulster Rifles, whoever, Yorkshire Hussars, whatever the regiment is that you're after digging up, okay? And they find a body. They will quickly bury the body, or they'll quickly bury the bones, and they'll take away the cap badge. 5 years, 10 years, 6 months down the road, somebody finds that body. Well, by you taking the cap badge, or you taking a shoulder title or something off of that body, you're taking away that person's identity again, because now they can't be. You can't even put a regiment to them, and all it's going to end up. Whereas if you had a regiment, you have Royal Fusilier, known unto God of the First World War or whatever. Whereas now you just have known unto God, soldier from the First World War. So you're taking his identity again the second time. There are groups, and I would love to go and do it. There are groups around Ukraine. Well, I don't think they're doing it much around Ukraine at the minute. I think they're a bit busy. With Ukraine, Lithuania, Latvia, all the Eastern Bloc. I think they do it in Poland as well. Whereas you can actually go with these guys, metal detecting the battlefields. And when they find a body, or when they find something like a helmet or whatever like that, they do a proper excavation. And if they find a German soldier, they will try and identify it. Or if they find a Russian soldier, they will try and return the remains. They're an actual agency. I know the one that I was watching one time, there was a documentary in Lithuania, and there was a group that go out every weekend to do these digs, and they found, I think it was in that year alone, they found like something like 7,000 bodies. When you think about it, the sheer fighting and stuff that went on in the Eastern Front, like, okay, everyone knows about Stalingrad and things like that, but the actual general fighting that went on in the Eastern Front was absolutely barbaric. They're like no prisoners taken, no mercy, no nothing. So yeah, so it does fascinate me that way. But I don't like the guys that just metal detect in especially around the Somme and Ypres and stuff like that. And they are not liked when people find them, when landowners find them and stuff like that. They're not liked, because like that they will just dig for a cap badge, and if there's a body around it or anything like that, they just won't say anything and just cover it up. So yeah, cool Vietnam era helmet. I'm sorry, I have a few there. That's a point. Stan and Timber are MIA tonight. Yeah, I know Stan is on holidays. He sent me a message the other day. He was drinking pints of Guinness in Yorkshire. And Jim has a bit of bother going on at home with his divorce and stuff like that. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. But they'll pop in. They will pop in. They're fine. I keep in checks with both of them. They're like my little children, just to make sure that they're not up to mischief. Like a grey flecker jacket, that Polish. Yeah, they're something similar. The East, yeah, you're right. The Raindrop was the East German one, I think it was called. The West German one. Sorry, East German one. It's called Raindrop. The Polish make quality stuff. I have one of those underfolding AKs. Yeah, they do actually. I do have an AK there actually, but I'm not going to dig it out. Uh, Cool Vietnam helmet. Yeah, thanks very much. Where have we gone? Metric pattern covering on that helmet it is in very good nick, and it's 68 damp dated, I think. There is a video of that as well, actually, if you want to go check it out. But they can also varnish those original World War II relics. I don't know what you mean by that now, Ralph. I know of a dealer that would dig up old scrap in Poland and rebury it on his land in Holland for guys to pay and dig up on the site of a battle. That's just money grabbing. That's just money grabbing there now, because people are people have a genuine interest for this stuff, and if they found out that stuff was staged or whatever like that, could be an absolute that could turn them against the hobby. It could turn them against collecting. Yeah, I don't like that stuff going on. Many Russians searched with metal detectors around Berlin, and they found really cool stuff. Yeah, I don't have any issues with guys that properly use metal detectors. I'm sure there are guys that find extremely very nice stuff and rare stuff and stuff like that. I have no issue with that, but it's just the guys that are gurriers, that they're the ones that I don't like. Yeah, I wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me if people can make money off it. They will do it. I'm afraid so. And Scotch was the DDR term for that camouflage. This camouflage. Did the part of Yugoslavia wear all German uniforms, or was it a uniform in itself? I don't want to get into politics of Yugoslavia and stuff like that, because I know of people that have been there. Bosnia and Kosovo, Sarajevo, places like that. The war in Yugoslavia was a mixed batch of everything. You had Eastern Bloc, you had Cold War stuff, you had Western stuff. Collecting and I know of people that do actually collect Balkans and Yugoslavia and stuff, and it is a hodgepodge of everything and anything. Serbs had their stuff, Croats had their stuff, and you couldn't tell them apart. They had a little badge, that was it. A bit like Ukrainians and Russians now at the minute, with a big bloody tape around their arms to tell them apart. So yeah, one stripe, not stripe, one strip, not strip. Yes, the parties used everything they could in revolving. They could remove insignia. No, World War II Yugoslavia. I'm not 100% on their World War II stuff. Bulgaria, Stan kindly gifted me one of their helmets. Actually, the Bulgarian helmet. They had an interesting World War II or Second World War, whereas they were involved with the Axis first, and then swapped sides and went to the Allies. They fought with the Russians after they fought with the Germans, or while they were fighting with the Germans, and then swapped to the Russian side of it. I have a mate who collects Croat arm patches. He has a lot of rare stuff. Yeah, the war in the Balkans, the war in Yugoslavia was an absolute mess. I had a friend of mine who I served with in the military. He did a trip to Bosnia. Yeah, Bosnia. The rest of us went to Kosovo. Yeah, he was in Bosnia. And his job, he was an escort. He was a military policeman, and he went over with the international police force. So their job, you had civilian police from the Met, America, Germany, actual civilian police forces and stuff like that. Our own Irish Guards, or the Gardaí, they sent over policemen as well. to do investigating on the war crimes and all that type of stuff that was going on. And he said it was a very, very interesting trip because they were trying to track down war criminals and stuff like that. I think he extended, actually. I think he did a year rather than doing his 6 months. But yeah, so he sort of enjoyed his time in the Balkans. Croatia is a good holiday location. I've heard that in Czech Republic as well, and in and around that, they're meant to be fantastic holiday spots. Not that I've had a holiday in a while, but possibly could hit it out one of the days. I have weird ideas sometimes going on holidays. I'd love to go to the Falklands. I was telling Danny one time, I don't know if he's still around. I was telling Danny I'd love to go to the Falklands. I'd love to go back to the Middle East where I served. Africa, no, you can keep it. I wasn't too fond of it being there, although Kenya's okay. But of all the continents that I've been, yeah, Australia, I loved Australia when I was there, but it's not really. I suppose I could do the Philippines type stuff. But definitely battlefields that I would love to check out. I would love to go back to my old haunt in the Middle East, especially in around Beirut and places like that. I'd love to go to the Falklands for some strange reason. I'd love to go see the Falklands. I have done Normandy. I've done Normandy. I've done the Somme. Where else have I done? Normandy, Somme, Ypres. Didn't get as far as Waterloo, actually. I wouldn't mind going checking out Waterloo. But I don't know what it is with the Falklands. I'd love to go see the Falklands. Well, it's a strange place. It's a beautiful part of the world. The Falklands, I've heard that. I have heard that it's also a very miserable place during the winter, but I've heard there's some nice spots in it too. Danny, I'm here. Yeah, as for the Middle East, yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to see that it hasn't gone completely to pot of where that we put in our effort into. I was there in the 90s, went back 2 years ago, and it's changed so much. Really amazing country. Going back to Croatia in October. Very cool. War film, YouTube. Tip from Ralph. The War Devils, 1969. Original title. Okay. We'll have to have a look at that. The War Devils. What other battlefields would I like to go see? I'd like to go see some of the American Civil War ones. The likes of Gettysburg, Shiloh, Antietam, those type of places. And then I don't know what it is because I did a bit of study on it one time for like a local history society. They asked me would I do a bit on Custer in his last stand because oh yeah, I forgot about that. We are going to Arnhem in 2024. We are the 69th Mess Tin Repair Detachment, I believe is our title when we're going to Arnhem. But yeah, so what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the why is that kind of bright? And a guy from my town land, I suppose, was in the 7th Cavalry and he was killed in the Battle of the Bighorn. So the local history society asked me would I do a bit of research and a bit of stuff on it, I suppose. So I did. An awful lot of Irish, an awful lot of Germans, an awful lot of Scandinavians in the 7th Cavalry. Not as fit as you would have thought because they had spent a lot of time in saddle, so an awful lot of them, when they found their skeletons and stuff, had back sores and slip discs and absolute scurvy as well, actually, believe it or not. Some of them had defects in their teeth. But yeah, so there was an awful lot of Irish, an awful lot of Germans, an awful lot of Scandinavians. But when I was doing my research, it is the only, I think it's the second only, because there is one in Africa. But it is this, it's the only battlefield where the headstones aren't headstones. They're actually markers of where soldiers were found. So you can actually what they call South Skirmish Line and stuff like that, you can actually follow the battle, and you can see what happens in the Last Stand Hill and stuff like that. So yeah, but there is one as well in the Battle of Isandlwana, whereas a certain part of that as well, they do have markers for where they found bodies, but the actual main battle of it, they didn't. They just buried them in mass graves. But yeah, so but in the Little Bighorn, I'd love to go see it actually. There's another one of my spots I'd love to go see. Each marker is where a soldier has actually fallen. And it was a very interesting documentary that I watched when I was doing that, whereas they found a skull fragment by one of these markers, and with CGI and I won't say DNA testing because it wasn't DNA testing, but it was forensic science and stuff like that. They could actually they found out who actually owned this piece of the skull, so therefore he would have been killed at that marker. And he actually turned out to be a scout. He was half French, half Indian scout or Native American scout, because you can't call them Indians anymore. But Native American scout. I can think of his name, but I can see the documentary, but I can't remember his name. He had a double Marn name, and it was a French name. But yeah, so it turned out to be him. Yes, Arnhem 2024. I need to start saving for that actually, because I know it's going to turn into be a big bender. World War II action adventure movie that takes place in the desert in occupied France. The Battle of Jabal in 2002 was a rough one, was it? The Battle of Jubilee. Yeah. So I suppose So I'd love to go see the American battlefields, those few that I named out, the Falklands, and I'd love to go back to the Middle East. Middle East is actually a lovely country if they weren't trying to kill us all the time, but it is actually a lovely spot over there. Beirut was known as Paris of the East at one stage. Beautiful city. What's left of it, or what was left of it when I was there. But I'd love to go back. I'd love to go back to those places and just see their time and effort actually change anything. Michael Conn is the greatest hero of the Dutch army today. I know that gentleman. I did actually watch a very good film there the other day about Entrepede, the operation, the OSS operation to kill, I don't know, should I say his name? The little runes guy that was causing havoc in the Czech Republic. If those of you that are into history, I suppose you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, it's a good film. There's two. There's Triple H, which is about him, and then Entrepede or Entrepod, whatever you want to call it, is about the OSS side of it. Very good movie. Very good movie. Go check that one out, guys. If you're in the area, go have a look at it. Nasty evil monster. He was a nasty evil monster. That's why I don't even think his name should be mentioned to give him the airtime or the wave time or whatever you want to call it. So will we do that? So guys, do you reckon that's a good idea? If I should have my I have one video done for this weekend. I should have two done, but I have one video done this weekend, and I could do another one tomorrow. Will I, when I get my stuff back, and will I do a video of the impression that I have put together so far for the Yorkshire Wartime Experience and the Victory Show, so people can just give me pointers and change certain things while I have time. I know it won't be blank good. It won't be blank good even in the Yorkshire Wartime Experience, because I'll be getting the blanco over there, because I just don't have time to get it here now. Plus, if I got it here, I'd have to pay customs and stuff like that, so it's just easier to get it over there. Nasty evil monster Entrepod, about the evil SD man. Triple HHH. Yeah. John Forrest Badge in the Heart of Arnhem is now being restored. The John Fox Bridge in the heart of Arnhem is now being restored. I think we're staying, and we're not actually staying in Arnhem. I think we're camping, and we're camping on one of the drop zones, if I remember correctly. What's the name of it? It's outside Oosterbeek. I know Danny told me the number of it. I think it was actually. Oh, I don't think it was. I think it was a glider drop zone. Actually, is where we're staying. And I know it's outside Oosterbeek. But obviously everything's outside Oosterbeek. But yeah. LZL. So there we go. So that's where we're staying. There'll be time to Banco on the Friday. We'll all leave behind. Perfect. Thanks very much, man. Where the KOBSB held. I hope it will be sunny as so it tries. Oh, the Blanco, I'll be fine. One of the other lads has to Blanco his kit, so we can get it all done at the same time. Near the airborne calf, perfect. If I see you in the Netherlands, I'll treat you to a can of Bavaria beer. You're more than welcome. There'll be a few of us there, so you'll have to treat us all. Or is it just me because I'm special? King's Own Scottish Borders. When Danny sort of proposed about us going over there, it was sort of a combined thing that we weren't going to be one of the regular regiments, the likes of the Paras, King's Own Scottish Borders. I'm not sure whether the Royal Ulster Rifles glider section was in Arnhem. I don't think so. I'm not sure because there were 6. I need to look it up, but I don't think they were there anyway. But we were going to we didn't want to be one of the famous regiments, so that's why we're going over as Army Service Corps, because they did jump, and they did come in gliders, and they were needed, and they did fight. So that's why we decided we're going over as the Royal Army Service Corps, which is another thing when you start getting badges for bits and bobs. Never ends, does it? Doing something interesting is always a good gag. Yeah, exactly. We just decided ourselves that we weren't going to do one of the famous regiments and just go to a lesser known regiment. Plus, we don't have to bring as much kit as well. We don't have to bring webbing. Well, I suppose we do have to bring webbing, but I think we're just going to go in battle dress and denisons and just wander around. And if people ask us who we are, we're the Mess Tin Repair Regiment. We're a Mess Tin Repair Company. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Well, look, Chuckles does have a suet stove, so I mean, he could bring that and cook for us. But he did do it actually at the Living History UK. He was our cook. Good cook. He is actually a chef, but he cooked for us all at the Living History UK. We all chipped in for it, but it was good. Good food. Good nosh. But he cooked authentically off a suet stove, which was actually very good. It was just a pain in the bugger because the poor guy had to be up at silly o'clock every morning to fire her up to get her going for breakfast. Oh, Jesus, where's the time gone? Right, guys, it's 53 minutes and 52 seconds. So if any of you have any questions, queries, or promises, let me know. I think we lost Lenny, actually. Did Lenny go? I think Lenny left. If any of you have any queries, questions, or issues that you want to bring up in the last 5 minutes, let me know. And we will discuss them and talk about them. And I do have to. I need to. I have those boxes and stuff that I need to get off to the boys as well, which is on the way. So yeah. So there's the beret. I didn't actually shape it, but it got wet. I had it out today drying, and it got wet. So I don't really like them. big bloody berets that they had at that time. And yes, the reason it is red is because at the time that we were portraying, or maroon, I should say, at the time that the SAS had been changed from their desert into an airborne, or they came under the airborne, so they wore the maroon berets. It wasn't until the 50s that they went back to the sand colour beret. I do actually have an SAS R one, an original one, that I could do a video on and show you the difference between the two. Yeah. Take another look at this. If you were in the Netherlands, you should try the raw herring with onions. I don't eat fish. I'm sorry, I don't eat fish. I don't know why, but I just don't eat fish. Someone got Kenny. Did someone zap Kenny? Let's please not try and kill Kenny. Mr. Shannon, what is your most and least favourite Steven Seagal movie? Oh God, where do I start? Some of his newer ones are absolutely dire. He's turned into a Class B actor. But he's an interesting character. Well, I mean, like, supposedly he's worked with the CIA. He was a sheriff as well. He was a sheriff from some city, or chief of police or something like that. He was involved in some court case involving the CIA as well. What was his favourite movie? I suppose the Under Sieges, I suppose, would be the classic ones. Living History UK. I love you, John Shanahan. I love you too, Steve Davis. Steve has probably been on the whiskies. Friday? Yeah, 9 o'clock. He's probably been drinking port. Out on the lash with Fly UK. Is he a pilot? Is he a pilot? Where's my helmet? Fly UK is a pilot, apparently. If you don't know who Fly UK is, guys, Fly UK is a friend of ours that has TikTok, and he lets people know he's a pilot, even though he's a pilot, which is a strange one, but yeah, he's a nice guy, Danny. He's funny. Steve is on the lash. Right, guys, so we're nearly at the hour, so I'll give you 2 more minutes to pop any more questions or queries into the Yoking with Bobby, and we'll let you go then. Well, I have these, I suppose. I don't know if he's still live now at the minute. Could these classify as a pilot's headset? Although they are a vehicle, armoured vehicle. And I need to get a screw for them, actually. I'm missing a screw for here. But yeah. There you go. So that's what Fly UK looks like while he's trying to crash his plane. I think Under Siege... I think Under Siege 1992 was his best. Belly of the Beast 2004 is his worst. Yeah, all his modern stuff is. Was that a piece of dust or was that a fly behind me? Because I just seen the reflection. But I don't know. I can remember watching one of his latest modern ones, and I just went completely, meh, no, thank you. Let's go to the hardware shop and see can I get a little screw for that. Take out one of them. But yeah. Right, guys. So we're up on the hour, and as always, what we will do with the hour is if you when we're on the hour, played Navy SEAL of Commando original infantryman is currently no longer interesting to Mr. Seagal. Steven Seagal. Right, guys. So we're on the hour anyway. So just give me a thumbs up if any of you want to see that video, that World War II impression video over the weekend. If not, I'll leave it till the following weekend. We'll see, but just give me a thumbs up if you think it's a good idea. If not, we'll see you all next week. Hang on a second, some stuff coming in here. Catch you later. Take care. Good show, lads. Great chat. See you next week. And thanks again, John, for the wee video. No problem. No problem. Oh, Lenny is there. Or Mr. Smith. Right, so that's what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to do that video at the weekend. I go through my small pack, my uniform and my web belt. And I will go through what weapons that I do have that could portray that they would have had. I do have Thompson, and I do have Webley, and I also have, although they weren't really fond of the Webley, I do have a 1911. So yeah, so I'll get it all sorted, and I'll get it up, and I'll possibly only have one video up this weekend. It depends. I'll see if I put up one tomorrow. I do have one shot. I just haven't finished and edited and uploaded and all that stuff. I'm way behind this week. So guys, enjoy. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Stay away from the vid if it comes near you. And I'll see you all the same time next week. Enjoy.